everyone. Okay, so there's a few interesting bits and pieces to talk about with this chapter. First and foremost, though, the chapter begins with God pretty much like announcing the start of Dead Rock's field day, which, like I had theorized last week, was pretty much just their Dead Rock's version of pretty much Zed, which I like. And right out of the gate, I will say I kind of like God being on. I kind of like how God, and with that said, God also announces that yes, Vice Principal Brent is dead. But I love how he also says, "Good. That's what you're supposed to do. Kill, murder, maim, do all that shit." Like I love how after him. I love how God just kind of loves that happened. Like, he's kind of on his good shit of, like, yes, that's what I want you to do. Do it. Go wild. Like, I kind of love God's energy in that moment. But okay. But moving on. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this chapter for me, which was, uh, after, we pretty much learn Mikoto. There's a moment where we cut back to Class F Storm, where everyone kind of just kind of waxes poetic, just kind of talks around the round table about what their goals are and whatnot. And we learned from Mikoto that her that her um that her wish, her dream, is to die. Now, after saying that, she kind of brushes this off as her joking, but yeah, there's definitely more to this, especially what happened with Baltagor, her reaction to seeing Baltagor in this chapter. Yeah, there's something here, which is to say that if I was to kind of take a guess as to as as to why Mikoto wants to die, so to speak. I don't know if it's necessarily her. I don't know if it's necessarily something to do with her root or it's a separate thing, but in either case, I think I think in some respect, Prince Makoto is in a similar situation to Prince Kuto Kuto in the sense where where they're both cursed, but unlike Yakuto, who's going to die from his curse, Mikoto is cursed with immortality, so she pretty much cannot die, which again fits with the theme of her being a lich, her being a necromancer. But it's like, yeah, her dream is to probably be pretty much rid of this curse and to finally die. Like, Mikoto has probably seen more than probably more than all of Class F. I think Mikoto has probably seen more death than we probably know in her life, and she's kind of, and even though she hides it well, she's very much emotionally bruised and battered, but just being the only one who basically who lives constantly through pretty much through while seeing everyone else around her die. I think that's kind of more that's more or less the vibe I'm getting from Mikoto in this chapter. Now, the question is, obviously, with Mikoto's reaction to Baltagor in this chapter, was Baltagor the one who cursed her, or was it someone else that they're both of them are acquainted with? I'm assuming right now it's the latter, because, or was it even God himself? Maybe just like God did with God himself. I don't know, but it's like, yeah, I think it is kind of the latter that it's. I don't know if it's Baltagor himself, because he kind of seems like a. Let's be honest, Baltagor, he kind of seems like a little bit of an ignoramus and a bit of a he just always seems like the lackey kind of character. So I don't know if he would have the intelligence to actually curse someone, honestly, but I think both Baltagor and Mikoto are acquainted with the person who did pretty much curse Mikoto. So I think that's why at the end of the chapter you see her react so hostily, because even if Baltagor wasn't the one who cursed her, he still probably had a hand in it in some way. And yes, aside from that, it's just basically, like I said, the rest of the chapter, as I said, is a total free for all. It's like every student in Dead Rock basically ganging up on Class F, and this is the other thing I do like about this chapter is that even though God himself technically isn't directly going after them, going after Class F, there were still kind of consequences for basically killing Bren, in the sense where Class F now kind of has this reputation where every student wants wants pretty much a piece of them. Don't get me wrong, Class F has always kind of been the target of every other student in Dead Rock, but it's like now with the knowledge that they're like that they are the ones who killed that they are the ones who killed they're the ones who killed Bren. It's like he's like God has kind of put an invisible bullseye on their invisible bullseye on their backs now, and it's like every student wants basically a piece of them. Like I think it's one of those things where even though God didn't out Class F, everyone probably knows it was probably Class F, mostly because of basically how Mikoto keeps talking on and on about wanting to kill God. So like I think just everyone kind of put two and two together, and they kind of put that the whole thing. I like how there is consequences here going on. Um, now, I guess the only other thing to talk about with this chapter is that we do see it. The other thing we see with this chapter is that we do get a bit of a flashback to pretty much when to basically the whole to when they were still like when after the battle with Brandon and talking with Magoo McGee about about uh, about removing the seal on the God's root book, and yeah, she pretty much says it outright that she'll pretty much do it out of as a favor to them for basically for kicking Bren's ass, but it's like I like how she also says I don't want to have a target put on my back, so you got to so if you're gonna do this, you got to make sure that they don't come after me again, Sonny boy. Like it's that kind of thing where she just wants to be left alone, and if she does this, I like how she does have stipulations for it. Um, and now I do also want to talk about something because when pretty much God announces the dead or alive thing, I like how like Saru immediately announces, "Wait, what? We're doing this?" Like I like how he seems surprised that this is like it wasn't a shock to anyone else, but to Saru it's like, why is this happening? And like I feel like this is one of those things where it is showing where we're getting little moments with Saru that are like it's showing us that he is kind of even though he's technically like a demon, a mythical creature like everyone else in this world, even he is like okay, even he has sensibilities of like he wants to know why something is happening first before he commits to doing it or something. So we're getting little sprinklings of his character here and there, which I like. Um, but that's outside of that, guys. Not outside of that, I got nothing really more to talk about. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, analyst Crunchyroll, but notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight MMA, signing off. Later, everyone.